So a prebiotic is the fibrous substance or fibers that come from some plant-based product, right?
Yeah.
And then the probiotic is also present always? Or wait, we're going to get to that.
It's more just the bacteria.
Okay.
So we all have bacteria in our gut. So we
Hey guys, welcome to Season 2, Episode 2 of the Awe-Inspiring Athlete Podcast. This week we are speaking with nutritionist and coach Cindy Wierman about the topic of pro and prebiotics, the difference between both. Before we get started though, let me go through my housekeeping items real quick. First and foremost is my caveat. I am not an expert that works in the health and fitness field. I am just an everyday athlete like the rest of you out there that has a whole lot of passion and enthusiasm around health, fitness, and nutrition, and helping others along the way. I, like many of you, have been on my own health and fitness journey and had my own struggles, and some of those revolved around food. And it wasn't until I got the help of a very patient professional coach that this changed for me personally. Second is our goal, which is to speak with industry professionals, doctors, coaches, nutritionists, dietitians that work in the field every day about topics that are trending in the health and fitness field on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis. And it's really kind of our way of reaching out and connecting with our listeners and helping motivate and inspire others to continue growing and continue getting better. And this podcast is really kind of meant for any level athlete. You might be someone who is well seasoned and you've been at it for a little while and you kind of know what you need to do, or you might be someone who's just getting started and you're overwhelmed by all the information that's available everywhere. Like Jonathan Pfizer often says, sometimes you can find anything that you want in Google just depending on how you search for it. So this is really kind of our way of helping our listeners connect with professionals and get solid information that's backed by science. And then our last, which is, guys, we love hearing from you. Please keep reaching out to us. We've been getting messages from you via Instagram. You guys can also reach out to us on Twitter and Facebook. We also have a Google voicemail account and a Gmail account. I'll leave all that information as well as the contact information for the coaches in the show notes for y'all. Anyways, let's go on and get to the good stuff.
Hey guys, this is Audrey with the Awe-Inspiring Athlete Podcast. This week we are speaking with Coach Cindy Wierman about understanding pre and probiotics. They can be kind of confusing. There's a lot to them, or maybe there's not. Cindy's going to help us understand it. But before we get started, Cindy, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, how you got here, kind of your origin story.
Yeah. So I originally was not going into personal training. I graduated from Baker University with a major in business management and marketing and got into more on the sports side of it with nonprofit and sports management with events. And then after a while decided that was not for me, so got into personal training and been doing personal training for the last 4 years here at Lifetime. Specialize in corrective exercise, do a lot of different things with golf, Pilates, nutrition, metabolics.
I saw you in the Pilates workshop that they had a couple weeks. I was like, what? I didn't know Cindy did that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which now I'm going to be doing Pilates, by the way. So I'm excited. So it's going to happen.
Yep.
I'm not just saying it. Adam's going to make it happen. So your certifications, what kind of certifications do you have?
I have my personal training certification through NASM.
Okay.
I have a golf fitness certification through Titleist Performance Institute. I have my Peak Pilates certification. a nutrition certification through ISSA, and then I have my metabolic certification through Lifetime.
All kinds. I saw you doing a metabolic earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, somebody's probably having a good time right now.
Yep.
I don't like those things, but they're good for you. All right, so help us understand what pre and probiotics are, definitely what the differences between the two,
Okay.
because I understand they are different.
Yes, they are very different.
Basic knowledge is, that's what I know.
Yeah.
So break it down for us.
Okay. So prebiotics, basic understanding, it's pretty much any kind of fiber. So it's a complex starch, and it's actually the fuel for probiotics.
Okay.
So you can benefit from having fiber in your diet, but they're going to be more beneficial when you have probiotics with them.
Mm-hmm.
Those probiotics are going to be more of that living bacteria that's already in your gut,
Mm-hmm.
but you can supplement with a probiotic supplement if you are lacking some. So that's kind of the basic gist of those two.
So understanding too, fiber is something that you're going to get through a plant.
Yeah.
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 Versus meat or anything else, right? Like
Yes.
something like so we did an episode with Philip a while back. Talking about fiber, and that was one of the questions. I think it was a true or false question that came up was that you can get it through eating steak, because I guess seriously, you Google it, it's out there. People think that you can get fiber through steak, but you can't.
Yeah.
So a prebiotic is the fibrous substance. There's fibers that come from some plant-based product, right?
Yeah.
And then the probiotic is also present always? Or wait, we're going to get to that.
It's more just the bacteria.
Okay.
So we all have bacteria in our gut. So we naturally have some probiotics, but it's just finding other sources to help supplement if we are having some kind of gut issue where we might not be having as much bacteria, like the good bacteria in our system.
So there's my understanding is there's different strains of good bacteria.
Yes.
And so you're not going to get all of them from the same types of plants, right? Like bananas might have a different type of probiotic versus pineapple also. Core of a pineapple has got some good probiotics.
Yeah, so with the probiotics, that there are several different strands. There's two kind of basic ones. The first one is lactobacilla, or bacilli.
I don't think I could even try to say that. I'm glad you said that.
I had to Google that one.
Okay.
And then a bifido type of bacteria as well. So those are the two like common ones. And those are usually found in a lot of like the probiotic supplements that we can take, and then also in a lot of the food sources too. So like the lactobacilli, like think of lactose.
Yep.
So you can find that in your yogurt or that kefir milk that's just kind of popular right now. Those are good sources of some other probiotics that is actually from food and not from a
pill form.
Yeah.
Right. So you're talking about something that might be in yogurt. Yogurt that's a dairy product. How I don't even understand how that works. Like, how is there probiotic in there? Is it just through the process of creation?
Yeah, so it's not going to be naturally formed.
Okay.
It's going to go through some kind of a process. It's cultured. And so that's how it is. That's where you get the probiotic from it, or the bacteria from it.
Gotcha.
A lot of foods kind of go through some fermentation, and so that's another way that you can get some probiotics. So if you think about
ripe bananas would be like a really ripe banana. Wouldn't that be kind of a fermented? No.
I mean, yes, but it's probably not going to have a whole lot of probiotics in there. It'd still be a good source of prebiotic with the fiber.
Okay.
But if you think about kombucha, that's fermented.
Yeah.
So that's got some good bacteria in there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you can. I think you guys sell some here. Some
Yes.
kombucha.
Yeah.
Be careful making your own. I heard it can be kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so it's safe to say that for the most part, there's a common one that we're usually lacking or need to rebalance, and that was the first one, wasn't it? That's my understanding.
Yeah, so it actually kind of depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay attention on how you're feeling after you eat certain foods, like are you having stomach cramps, are you gassy, like those types of things you have to kind of pay attention to. And then you just have to kind of be careful with what probiotics you are taking.
Mm-hmm.
If you do have a sensitivity to dairy, probably want to stay away from or limit the lactobacilli type of strain, because that could cause more issues.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
yeah, so you just have to kind of
You gotta figure it out.
what you need. Yeah,
Right.
whether you experiment and try different strands of a probiotic supplement, or you actually go and get like a food sensitivity test to know what
So
you're
that would
sensitive to.
be the way that you would figure that out,
Yeah.
as a food sensitivity test.
Yeah.
As far as like your recommendation, do you recommend that we try to get what we can through pill form or through food?
I would say both,
Both. Okay.
because it really just depends on like your activity level and your nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Like if those are on point, you might not need a pill form.
Right.
But if you are still having GI issues of some kind, then it probably wouldn't hurt to have a probiotic supplement.
So how do we know in the first place that we need to? Like, other than like if you get a little bloated and gassy and stuff like that, how do we know if we need to take a probiotic or we need to adjust how much prebiotic we're getting in our intake?
So if you think about your gut, I know there's a lot of different things that can stem from your gut, and it might not just be your digestive system. It could be going down to like your mood or your immunity. So if your immunity is weak, then you're probably going to need a little bit more of a boost in good bacteria to help fight off that bad bacteria,
Right.
to prevent you from getting sick.
So if you have a cold, or if, like, I know commonly you'll see this if you're given some kind of antibiotic, a lot of times they'll take you, because the antibiotic will kill all bacteria.
Yep,
right?
the good and the bad.
Right. A lot of times they'll tell you to also take a prebiotic with it,
Yeah.
or during the day. Like, I
Right,
usually take mine in the morning, which that's another question. When's the best time to take one?
So as far as whether to take one or not, I would say it's not going to hurt if you do take one. And then just kind of gauge on
it.
how you're feeling, if you need to maybe scale it back or cut it out.
Right.
Most people that are living an active lifestyle probably could benefit from it. And I know personally it hasn't been like proven a whole lot in studies yet, but it's been coming out there that it can help with mood or anxiety or depression.
I didn't know that.
And so I personally notice that when I don't take my probiotic as consistently, that my anxiety levels kind of get heightened. And then I get back on that routine and kind of levels out a little
I totally
bit
would
more.
not have guessed that about you, by the way. I wouldn't have. I mean, you always seem like you're very level. Like, whenever I see you, you're like just kind of doing your thing, working hard, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
So, understanding too, you want to talk a little bit about what your gut bacteria does, because you're talking about like it can affect mood, it can affect a lot of other things. Like with the gut bacteria, it's like I'm trying to think of the right word. It's smart, I guess, in a sense, right?
Yeah. Like it's, if you think about your stomach, it's like your second brain. So there's a lot of things that go on. So if you have a lot of stress, that's going to affect your GI tract in some regards. And whether it's you experiencing bloating after every meal, or you're having skin irritations, like maybe you have eczema or acne breakouts or something like that. Like those things can be coming because your gut's not in a healthy state, and it's not able to break down those foods the proper way and being absorbed in the proper way.
So that's kind of cool what you think about it, because I mean, it's not cool if that's going on, but it's cool in a sense that when you think about exercise, how it relates, like you're putting your body through stress as it is. So, like, I can understand how you'd be like, if you're active, like, it probably couldn't help you or hurt you anyways.
Right.
If to take it, because, again, like I think we've talked about this a lot on this podcast, your body doesn't know the difference between stress that's related to work or stress that's related to your workout.
Yeah.
Or
stress from nutrition because you're eating foods that are inflammatory.
Yeah. And I think it's also too, my thing is understanding that it's not a Band-Aid for bad habits either. Like,
correct.
A probiotic, just because you ate an entire tub of chocolate ice cream thinking that it was great because maybe it has probiotics in it, maybe it's frozen. I don't know. I don't even know how that would even work. But understanding that it's not going to fix a bad habit. So you still got to eat. You still should eat a good balanced diet, but a probiotic can only help you along the way, especially if you're active. Regardless, if you're not active, it sounds like a good idea.
Oh yeah, because it just it's going to help that immune system a lot.
So, targeting healthy gut bacteria has its benefits and risks. Can you help us understand what to look for?
So, kind of what I already mentioned. Pay attention on how you're feeling after you eat certain foods, or just in general. Like if you are experiencing any abdominal cramping or bloating or gas, like those things, and you are taking a probiotic, you might have to focus on what are you taking with it. So that's where like the prebiotics come into play. Like I said, they are the fuel to the probiotics. So are you eating enough or too much of those prebiotics, like that fiber, that it's causing some issues with the probiotics? Or do you not have enough good bacteria in your gut to balance that out?
So there is such thing as too much. That's what I hear you saying.
Yeah.
So what would be some signs that we might see if we are ingesting too much?
Too much. I guess it depends on everybody. It could be like stomach cramping shortly after you've had, say, some food, and you took because you mentioned you take your probiotic in the morning.
Yep, first thing.
So if you had food with it, and then you were experiencing some stomach cramping or any kind of bloating, that could have been a reason why. One thing I would tell people, like if they are taking it in the morning, and they are experiencing like that cramping or that bloating, maybe to switch it at night, right before bed, because your system will be able to absorb it better and it can do its work and not compete with foods.
I gotcha.
And that could improve things.
So you
quickly.
you in general, would you suggest taking it at night versus in the morning?
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. I've been doing it wrong for years.
Yeah, it works. It works differently for everybody. Yeah. And if it's gonna help you remember to take it in the morning because that's your routine, by all means do it. But it's usually better when you take it by itself, because then it doesn't have to compete with the other foods everything that you have to break down too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, so I can see how either way would work, right? Like if you take it in the morning, everything's already been digested. Like I take it before anything. It's like an hour before I eat, so I take it first thing when I get up.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be competing with anything else that you are eating or ingesting, which is what you would prefer. It'd be most effective that way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. Okay, so next is our true false. All sources of dietary fiber have either prebiotics or probiotics in them, but never both. Why or why not?
Okay, so that one's kind of tricky.
I'm like the expert at trick questions. Yeah. Like everybody says that. They're like, why are you giving this one? It's neither true or it's neither false. It's kind of both.
So going back to my high school days of trying to break down like those true false questions. Yeah. If you look at it, like you said, natural sources of dietary fiber. So we already know that fiber has prebiotics in them. But they probably won't have probiotics. So, and then most sources of probiotics are probably going to be a little bit more processed because they have to go through some kind of fermentation process.
Right.
So I would say that it would be true, because they're not going to have both at the same time, and it's only going to have one or the other. So that's what I would say. And it's all natural, so it's not processed.
So if it's processed, like I know you talked about kombucha, which did I say that right?
Kombucha. I don't know. That's how I say it.
I might have said it right. I have some friends that might yell at me for that one. Or let's say, all right, sauerkraut. That's another one.
Yeah.
It's processed. It has to go through a process in order to become sauerkraut.
Yeah.
You had mentioned yogurt before earlier. Those are ones that have prebiotics in them. I'd also heard probiotics in them.
Yeah.
And prebiotics.
Well, there are a few that can have both.
Yeah.
But it's not naturally based. It's going through some kind of a process.
That is such a... Why did I put that question?
It's kind of hard. It's very confusing.
Yeah. So, but stuff like... I'm thinking about like pineapple. Like the core of a pineapple has got prebiotics in it. It's fibrous.
It's fiber, yeah.
But it's also got probiotics in it. So how does that work? I don't know. Like, it's weird to me because I'm like...
Yeah.
I guess there's just some that are special.
There are, I guess.
But it's also... We can't say all vegetables...
Right.
Or all plant-based foods have it.
No.
It's going to be...
Because if you think about just like the simple definition of a prebiotic is going to be more like fiber or complex starch.
The only reason why I know that about... This is really funny. The only reason I know that about pineapple is whenever I cook with pineapple or use pineapple, I always go fresh, right? Like sometimes if I'm making like sweet potato pancakes, I'll take some fresh pineapple and I'll chop it up, cut it up. And I always used to cut the core out. And I was like, oh, I wonder, like, it seems like a lot that you like kind of lose. And I ended up Googling it and I read that and I'm like, what? So then I started using the full pineapple. I just take the skin off the outside, but yeah, it's got like both in there. I was like, that's great. I didn't know that.
There you go.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
All right, now it's your turn. You get to flip it on me.
Okay.
What do you got?
True or false? Probiotics are digestive enzymes.
False.
Correct.
To think about that.
Not very tricky there.
No. So you might explain to people what digestive enzymes are.
So digestive enzymes are things that are going to help break down foods. Usually going to be more in the stomach than anything else. Probiotics are going to be more in the intestines. So we need both of them. And kind of going back to those symptoms that we experience with our gut, kind of deciphering what symptom is causing or coming from where and where do we need to boost things up. Is it digestive enzymes or is it the probiotics? So
do most probiotic supplements have digestive enzymes in them too, or is it?
Usually not.
Okay. Like
when you look at a probiotic supplement that's in a pill form, it's usually just the probiotics. There might be, well, I'd have to go back and look at.
Because I know you can buy digestive enzymes. But I've also been told that you got to be careful. You may not always want to take them because it really it could mess you up.
Yeah.
Too.
So again, that's what's kind of figuring out. Like you're probably going to be on the safer side taking a probiotic supplement.
Yeah.
Rather than just trying to take digestive enzymes.
So a way you would know if you needed digestive enzymes would be what?
If you have more of a bloating feeling upper abdominal area.
Yeah.
Like
versus lower down.
Versus lower.
Yeah.
And it's like a little bit after eating something as opposed to maybe a couple hours later. Because that means that you might not have enough digestive enzymes in your stomach acid to help break down that food. But then again, you also have to look at other habits too. Are you eating too fast?
Slow down. Slow down, breathe, guys. You don't have to eat it in 5 minutes. Take a good, I think, what is it, like a half hour to like actually eat your food and breathe and like don't.
Yeah. chew your food like 20 to 30 times per bite.
I don't count.
I don't
I
either.
just usually eat it. But, as far as, and I think another one is too, I'd read about is, and I'm going to say it, some people want to be horrified by this, but look at your stool too and see what that looks like too.
Yeah.
Knowing that there's some things that your body may not like and may not digest well anyways. So like you'd mentioned, that food sensitivity test might help you understand that. But like in general, if you're starting to see some whole portions of food and what comes out, it's maybe
you're not breaking it down.
Maybe you're not breaking it down, and maybe go see a professional.
Yeah.
Might be a good idea to go get that looked at.
Yeah.
Okay, so is there anything that or any questions that I should have asked that you would want to talk about before we talk about what you want these guys to remember?
I think we kind of touched base on it, but you had brought up like what's the best time to take that probiotic. It really just depends on your habits and everything, but preferably it'd be more at nighttime or right before bed. The other thing to kind of keep in mind too is if you are taking antibiotics, to always boost up that probiotic as well, just to get some of that good bacteria back in. Or even if you've had a history of taking antibiotics in the past, like a lot of kids, whenever they got sick.
That's usually where you hear it, is from your pediatrician, is like, hey, ask the pharmacist for a probiotic too when you go in there. Yeah. So
you just want to kind of replace those good bacteria whenever you can, so it doesn't do as much damage.
How about cold and flu season when that comes around? It probably didn't hurt to boost those too. Kind of understanding that you might be helpful in that form too.
Yeah, because it helps to boost that immune system a lot.
I think there are some out there too that are immune boosting, that boosting. I know I've seen different brands, but there's different ones catered towards things like maybe milk intolerance, and like you'd mentioned, I'm not even going to try to say the strain, but mentioned, if you have issues with milk, there's some to help boost your immune system.
Well, all of them would be boosting your immune system, but if you have any like dairy issues, try to find one that's dairy-free, which there are some out there. That's one thing I would just always recommend. Do your research first. Don't just buy the first probiotic off the shelf.
Good. Yeah.
And do more of like a capsule form, because it's going to be better absorbed than like a gummy.
Yeah.
Because
that would sound good.
Yeah.
Plus, that's carbs. That's my thing too. Like if you, it's funny. I didn't realize till a while back that I was taking a calcium supplement. It was gummy form. I think maybe I thought it was gonna be fun. I don't know why I got it, and then I started noticing how many carbs are in it and how much sugar is in it, and I was like, I'm gonna go back to an actual capsule pill. Yeah, that seems like a better idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are 3 to 5 things you'd like for us to remember from this episode, and when should we get help?
So one thing to kind of remember is you don't necessarily need a prebiotic to take a probiotic. You can just take the probiotics and be fine. Most of your food is going to have some kind of fiber in it. If you're eating healthy enough. Yeah. Unless you're eating a bunch of processed foods, then you're going to need an extra prebiotic supplement.
So your vegetables, your fresh fruit, kind of stuff like that?
Yeah. Yep. So that's where, like, if you feel like you need an extra prebiotic, there are some supplements out there that you can get. And just, again, do your research to make sure you're getting the right amounts in, and pay attention to how your body is feeling. If you still aren't feeling the greatest, then make some adjustments, but then also seek out your doctor and make sure there's nothing else going on. Yeah. And then kind of go from there as well.
Okay, so give us some homework. What is something you want us to do around this topic?
I would say take a journal of how you're feeling throughout the day and what you're eating, and see if there's something that you can improve upon. If you've always felt bloated after you eat bread or dairy, but you've never really paid attention to it, then write that down and then kind of see the trend and figure out what it is you need to do to improve, and then seek out nutrition coach or a doctor or somebody to help you with getting on the right track for improving some of those symptoms.
So there you go, guys. Cindy just gave you guys homework. You guys better get it done. Start this week.
Homework.
Yeah.
Whether they do it or not.
Please do your homework. Be good students. Was there anything else you wanted us to remember, or any other questions you wanted to touch on that I didn't hit?
I think we covered a lot of it.
Sweet. All right. What are some excellent resources that you use?
For nutrition, I get a lot of my resources and knowledge from Precision Nutrition. I like following like their Instagram page because they have a lot of infographics on there.
Yep.
Quick and easy information. Experience Life, the Lifetime magazine, has a lot of great articles too.
They do. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there.
Great stuff around probiotics and prebiotics and gut health in general.
Sweet.
So you can check that out. They have the website, so if you don't get the magazine, you can still
Get on the website too.
Yeah.
Do you have to be a member, do you know, to access the website information?
I don't think so.
There you go. Okay, and so where can we find you? If we have questions for you, how can we reach you?
You can reach me in club. I'm pretty much here any day. All the time. Or you can email me. It's Cindy Wierman, so it's CWIERMAN at lt.life.
Do you have an Instagram or a Facebook?
I do.
Do you want to share it? You can share your tag.
I don't even remember what my Instagram was. I think it's Cindy W84.
Right.
I think that's what it is.
Okay. I will double check for you.
Okay.
That means you were born in 1984, right?
Yeah.
I figured that. Makes me feel old. All right. Is there anything going on at Lifetime Fitness you want to talk about, or you have some other stuff too?
Yeah. So we've got our Commitment Day 5K coming up on January 1st.
Okay.
So if you're into running or want to get into running, that would be a great way to get that in.
What's running?
I love it.
Yeah, I know you do.
But then other things, I'm working on filling my Pilates schedule. So if you are interested in coming and trying a class out, I am offering up a couple of spots in some of my classes for people to come try out my Pilates. So
sweet. So do you do one-on-one sessions and group?
I do, yes.
Okay.
So I've got a couple of classes during the week, and then whenever somebody's wanting a one-on-one session, we can try to squeeze it in too.
Awesome. We did an episode a while back with Gail Hart.
Yeah.
About Pilates, and I did not realize that there was so much history behind it as there was.
Oh yeah.
And then how beneficial it was.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be cool. All right. Well, Cindy, thank you. I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah.
I know this is your first one. You're probably going to sign yourself up for some more, whether you want to or not.
Okay.
You did great.
Good.
And thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, guys, that's a wrap on Season 2, Episode 2 of the Odd Inspiring Athlete podcast. Some interesting takeaways that I found. I totally thought I knew what prebiotics and probiotics were, and it sounds like I was probably wrong. So understand that a prebiotic fiber is essentially a non-digestible part of a food that you might eat. So like a banana, pineapple, onions, garlic, jerusalem, artichoke, skin of apples, chicory root, beans. There's many other types of foods that have prebiotic fibers in them. And so prebiotic fibers go through your small intestine undigested, and then it essentially becomes a probiotic once it's been fermented and it reaches the large colon. So again, probiotics are the live beneficial micro or bacteria that are essentially populate your microbiome and are naturally created by the process of fermentation of foods like some of the ones we mentioned above, plus yogurt and sauerkraut and miso soup and kimchi and other types of foods. And so you can get probiotics through the pill form, and there's some benefits to probiotics, and some have said that they've seen it help fight issues with depression, but also one reason I take it is because it helps with bloating and with some of my digestion issues that I have. So essentially, anybody and everybody can take a probiotic. There's no harm against it. If you are eating the foods that you should be eating, you will naturally be getting some of that prebiotic fiber already into your diet. So if you guys have some interesting takeaways that you want to share with us, please hit us up via Instagram or Twitter. And next week, we're going to be talking with Coach Brittany Kirstenbrock about the topic of detoxes and if they really do work. So make sure you guys tune into that one. And everybody have a great week.